Hi, welcome to UCan2. I'm Dave Strudel, a member of Muskegon Community College's business faculty and program coordinator for marketing, management, and entrepreneurial studies. UCan2 is a campus-wide philosophy that encourages students of all ages, regardless of their major or area of interest, to consider business ownership as a career path. This program features discussions with area business owners, which will highlight how they became entrepreneurs and talk about issues important to people starting out in business. Today we'll talk to Orville Crain, partner of Klever Innovations, about how he started a business. Hi, Orville.
Hi, Dave. Welcome to Klever Innovations. How about a tour?
That'd be great, thanks. Tell us about Orville Crain. Have you always been with Klever Innovations?
No, actually 6 years with Klever Innovations, but I got out of school at Western Michigan University and ran a large supermarket for several years, then bought a party store, then built a car wash, a vending machine business. Really a serial entrepreneur, Dave. I've owned a roller skating rink and a bingo hall and built new homes and done lots of different things with my life. I was in marketing, my own marketing firm, prior to starting Klever Cutter and Klever Innovations.
How did Klever Innovation get started? What does a company do, and how did you come up with the idea for your product?
Actually, it wasn't mine. It was my partner's, Jeff Kempker. He was a Walgreens store manager, and I was doing business with him and his store at Walgreens. And he came to me one day and said, Orville, I know you've already had a couple of patented items and know a little bit about marketing and patenting, and I have this idea that I think would really be good. And I looked at it for a while and said, we need some more help. We need somebody with engineering and plastic injection molding experience. So we reached out into the world and got my other friend, Matt Jacobs, who owns Advanced Molding Solutions, and the three of us became a team and worked on patenting it and putting it together and bringing it to the market.
Excellent. What makes the Klever Cutter unique?
Klever Cutter is a box and package opening tool that literally can't cut you no matter what you do. The blade is behind this hook. It's recessed behind the hook. So even if you slip and pull it into you like this, it won't cut you. And also when you're opening the box, this hook, the shoulder on the hook is the only thing that's inside the box. There's no point that sticks in. So it doesn't cut the product inside the box and it won't cut you. In fact, it's the only box cutter that you can carry on an airplane, and I've done it 20 times. I got a letter from the Transportation Safety Administration saying that you can carry it on an airplane.
What were some of the major hurdles that you have overcome to get the product from idea to the customer?
Interesting question, Dave. It brings a smile to my face because it's like everything was a hurdle. That the whole process, starting a new company with a new product and not introducing something additional to a product line, we had to create our own market. We had to take market share from other people because everybody that wanted a box cutter already had some kind of box cutter. So it was extremely difficult to get it started, and the hurdles were immense, right from the first contacting people and moving forward. But most of it was done through sampling. We sent out hundreds and hundreds of samples and information about our product.
How long does this process take?
Well, it took us a couple years to really get any traction at all. I'm not sure we'd be in business if we hadn't have ran into a couple of customers, a couple of distributors who then ended up with a couple of larger end users, and just those two accounts gave us enough traction to keep going for those first 2 years. And so it was really a tough 2 years, but we're growing and doing better all the time after that.
Did you seek any outside organizations' help or professional help to get going?
Yes. Yeah. For one thing, Dave, we ask everybody for help all the time. It's not like we know it all or think we're that kind of people at all. We're look for and want any kind of help we can get. Early on, I went to SCORE in my local chamber and talked to people in the Flint Inventors network about the original idea and how to patent it and how to make it work. And beyond that, we talked to engineers and plastic people that could help us put this thing together. So we really got lots of outside help.
Tell us a little bit about the marketing and the sales process for this product. Was it an instant hit?
That's a loaded question, and you know it, Dave. It certainly wasn't an instant hit, as I've alluded to earlier. We had a couple of really tough years trying to get it off the ground, and so it was not an instant hit, but it was a good product, and we knew it was a good product. Early on, some of the early information we had, it told us, and we knew, and we had a couple of good customers that I also mentioned that did very well early with it, and then it was just a process of slowly working in the market niche that we'd found, which was industrial supply / safety area. So we worked more and more with larger companies with safety managers and tried to target that niche, and then expanded from there.
Are you still selling the original version, or have things changed?
This looks exactly like our original product. However, it has changed. It's the blend of plastics has changed twice to make it better and stronger. And our blade, we've improved the blade. We started off with a stainless steel blade and didn't realize, should have, but didn't realize that the stainless steel blade didn't last as long as a carbon steel blade. So we get about somewhere between 10 and 20% more wear out of a carbon steel blade, and most people don't need stainless. So it has changed.
Knowing what you know now, would there be anything you'd do differently if you had to start over?
Everything. Everything. Honestly, the process to develop, now we've developed newer tools since the original one, and our process has radically changed in terms of how we approach the development of new items. So we've learned in that experience, what would you do now? It's exactly correct in the sense that we are doing now what we wish we could have done then. We just didn't have the knowledge or know. But we are, I would have marketed much differently. I would have realized that my niche, which I didn't know, was industrial supply and safety. Instead, I started off sending samples to the 100 top retail stores in the United States, and not one of them even responded to me. So those are the kind of things I look back and realize that I would do things radically different today, and almost everything would be different, but it's hard to know then what you know now.
You're the president of Muskegon Inventors Network. Tell us a little bit about that organization and how it can help people bring new products to the market.
Well, I know that I have some bias in the area, but we have about 100 members in and around West Michigan, although lots of folks are members from Grand Rapids also. And but the Muskegon Inventors Network helps people with an idea to develop the idea, to get it to the marketplace. And we tell everybody that if you're going to have an idea and develop it, you got to realize it's about the money in the end. It's not about getting a patent. It's not about making your mother happy. It's about making money. Or why are you taking your time and it's a waste. So we try to help people get an idea to its best place, and sometimes that's a garbage can. And other times, we help people make some serious dollars, but it's a process, and we know the process, so they don't have to go through it the hard way, like I did with the Klever cutter.
What common mistakes do you see new inventors making in the marketplace, and what would you tell them to help avoid those mistakes?
Well, first of all, the big one is the myth of the $1 million idea. And that is that the people who think they have a good idea immediately believe it's $1 million. And it jades their perceptions of what they're doing. So you really kind of got to go with a clear slate and do an honest evaluation. But another one is people calling those people on television. It's the worst thing in the world. The invention promotion companies on television will cheat you on average out of $13,000, and you check it out, it's a fact. So that's another big one. And even another one, a mistake that early people with ideas make, is to go see an attorney immediately. When you walk in an attorney's office and say, "Can you help me get a patent on this?" he invariably is going to say, "Yes, give me $6,000 to $10,000. And he'll do it. That doesn't make you money. So at the Muskegon Inventor Network, we help people get past that myth and to do all of the steps prior to going to see an attorney and make sure they can make some money on it before they spend money.
And finally, Orville, what would you tell our viewers who have a product idea they want to bring to the market?
Well, think of the myths that I just talked about, take those into account, and then probably the biggest single thing is not to fall in love with your idea. Not only not to believe it's $1 million idea, but not to fall in love with it. Look at it as objectively as you possibly can. Go through the stages and steps that we'll help you with at Muskegon Inventor Network, like making sure it's not in the marketplace and getting a prototype made and doing a cursory patent search yourself. Those kind of steps. But don't fall in love with the idea, and take the steps. When you finally get to a point where you really feel good about it and you're pretty certain, and inventor people have put their stamp on it, then I suggest that you jump in with both feet and run like heck. I brought a new idea to market, and you can too.
As you heard, Orville Crain followed a path of inventing to business ownership. Does starting or owning a business within your field of study sound interesting? Learn more by asking any Muskegon Community College counselor or department chair about available entrepreneur associate degrees. Remember, there are millions of people like Orville Crain that started successful businesses. You can too. If you have comments or suggestions for this program, email us at david.stradell@muskegoncc.edu or call David Stradell at 231-777-0304.